What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wave Podcast with your co-hosts Jet and Echo. Hi, I'm Jet. Echo's over there. What up, Echo?
Hello all. What's up? What's happening?
Was that a super energetic intro? Was that good? Was that up to your Echo standards?
I thought it was pretty acceptable.
I thought you were about to say pretty mid. No, no.
It was acceptable, Jet. It was acceptable. It wasn't bad. It wasn't fantastic. It was acceptable.
I can't believe.
So yeah, basically it is pretty mid.
Pretty mid, yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do a whole paragraph intro like we did for those couple of episodes. Every now and then I'll throw in the full ass intro. Every now and then we just gotta jump right into it, just get right into the news, as that one guy says.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
He's still a thing? I didn't think he was still a thing.
He's still a thing, I think, right? He's still on YouTube, I think, right?
He's done. I think his career's over. I haven't heard about him in a century, Jet. And if you know who we're talking about, listeners, then good. If you don't, well, that sucks.
Wow, all right, we're going after some big people out here.
Yeah,
right,
we're
cool.
going after those big people. Now. Oh, drama alert. Oh, this is some drama alert.
Now, people might be thinking, what the heck is the topic of this episode? They're talking about these weird things that are going on online.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, this is very much on topic because we're talking about streaming, and streaming is... Echo?
A hobby!
A hobby! I didn't know if you were going to catch that.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, this is the most... That could have been a little bit smoother, Jack.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's a bit too obvious. I mean, for us, for me, it was. I was like, oh, he's gonna lead into hobby now. But yes, hobbies, Jet. Hobbies. Who doesn't love a good hobby? Who doesn't like coming home from work or school and doing something you love? Whether that be art, whether that be collecting stuff, whether that be playing your favorite games, everybody.
Or listening to your favorite podcast, The Cosmic Wave.
Yeah. Now that's a hobby that we approve. Wink.
Wink.
Did you wink at the camera? Did you wink, Jack? Because I winked.
I did. No, I did.
Hey, let's go. But hobbies. Who doesn't love hobbies? Who doesn't have hobbies? Everyone has hobbies. Even that one boring person in class. It seems like he's got nothing going on. He has a hobby, trust me. It's probably very secret, but he's got a hobby. All right. But no, Jet. Anyway, hobbies. Please enlighten me to one of your hobbies.
Well, I'm a man of many hobbies. I'm a man of complex hobbies. I'm a man of simplistic hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preach it to me, Jet.
Yeah, preach it to me. I don't know if I should start with this as a hobby because it's such a thing that everyone does. I mean, okay. So I'm gonna start with the most basic thing. Basic thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say video games as a hobby because that's the thing a lot of people do. You get home, like you were saying. What do you do when you get home after work? You're tired, trying to unwind. You get home, you play a video game. And you just have a good time. And funny enough, I'm saying video games as a hobby, but I don't actually play video games a lot. I actually very rarely play them. Most of the time now when I play a game, it's with you guys and we're making a video.
Same.
Right? but the reason I'm saying video games first today is because today was the first time in forever that I actually sat down on my couch and I played a video game pretty much the whole day today because I just got a PS5 yesterday and I got the PS5 Final Fantasy 16 bundle and I wanted to play that because I was excited for it and I've been playing that literally all day and the reason I don't play video games anymore solo is because I'm always I can be working on YouTube, working on this or that,
Oh, yeah.
But the reason, I gave myself the excuse to not feel guilty about playing it all day is because I still have my PC turned on because I was rendering all the videos that I needed to catch up on, for the podcast, for my YouTube, and all that stuff. So I had that stuff rendering, and, we're doing...
So you were like, this renders, I'm going to play some games. And when that finished
Exactly.
rendering, I'm gonna render the next one. Then we'll play some games.
Yes.
And,
Right.
I like that
Because I can't
logic.
do anything else. You know? Yeah, exactly. I can't do anything else on my computer while it's rendering. Or I mean, I can, but I probably shouldn't be. You can't be playing video games on my PC,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I might as well just take it over to my brand new PS5 I got in the living room now. So yeah, that's what I've been doing today, and it felt so good. It felt like therapy, honestly. I haven't played a video game like that in a long time alone, and it just felt so nice. It felt so good. I'm really happy that I got a PS5. I was gonna get one for Spider-Man 2 later on, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna go ahead and get it now because Final Fantasy 16's out, and I want to play that, and it's been so much fun. And literally, I was playing it like 20, 30 minutes ago before we started recording this podcast episode.
Damn, you really were playing all day.
when I texted you, I said like I'll be done in like 20 minutes. I'll be ready, and I was still playing it. And so I was like, all right, let me get to a start point.
I can't believe.
So it was much needed. It feels good to finally have been able to sit down and play a game after a long time not doing that. So that felt good. But that's like a basic hobby that I think a lot of people do.
Oh yeah.
So that's nothing unique. But I just want to start off with something relatable, I guess. So now, Mr. Force, I'm curious to know your hobbies because knowing you got so many, you damn.
Yeah, I have quite a lot. I think I'll start off with like maybe another basic one. Ease into it.
Oh yeah, ease into it.
And I think a hobby that a lot of people have, and I know you have, Jet. Like everyone has that one thing, and that's like collecting things. Like when you like have a collection or something. You buy one thing and you're like, ooh, I could buy like something with this other thing. I'm talking like pop vinyls. I'm talking like maybe action figures, Lego. I'm just meaning anything like that. Things that you buy something for and you're like, hey, this would look really nice if it had a companion. Because back when I was a wee echo, I used to, collect action figures because they were all the rage. And you'd get like, you get your Darth Maul, then all of a sudden you'd be like, hang on a second. Darth Maul looks a little lonely up there. I need to give him someone to fight. Oh, I got Obi-Wan. Oh, wait a second. Obi-Wan cuts Darth Maul in half. I need to get him a new guy to fight. That was like my logic. But yeah,
you might as well get Qui-Gon too to finish the whole set for the first episode.
Exactly, and then you're like, oh, I better get Palpatine because he's a part of the first episode. Wait a second, you can't have Palpatine without Darth Vader. Wait a second, you can't have Darth Vader without a stormtrooper. Hold on, where's Luke Skywalker? Walker. Now we got an army of stormtroopers. Why is there a giant Death Star?
Have you seen those TikToks where it's like a person getting one thing, and it's literally how you're describing it right now, where he's like, oh, I got this cool new thing. Oh, it looked lonely. I got to get another one. Oh, they need another friend, blah, blah, blah. And then like they keep adding more and more to it.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a sound on TikTok. And that's literally what you just explained. That's so funny.
I mean, but that actually is how it goes. Like I'm sure there's, people listening. There are people who collect things. Someone who has a collection of something, or even if it's just something like small, or if it's just like 3 items, you have a set of something. Like Jet, what's a set of something you have?
The thing is, I have like a bunch of random things that like don't really follow any sort of theme. I don't know if I can really say I collected anything that all go together, because like literally right behind me is a bunch of like random things like I do got pop vinyls, which are like from different things. Got like a Spider-Man PS4 pop vinyls. Got Spider-Man, MJ, Miles on that. I got a Rick. I got from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some Game of Thrones ones. Game of Thrones. Yeah, and I got I got like a Baby Yoda back there. I can't believe it's a Baby Yoda. I know. Shut up.
just letting everyone know.
I was gonna say Baby Groot is the thing too,
What
and that's why I confused. Because I looked at both. Yeah, I have a Baby Groot back there,
okay.
in the little cup. So yeah, no, I got like a bunch of random things. It's not even that I collect them; it's just they somehow come into my possession, like they're gifts and stuff. So I wouldn't really say I'm much of a collector. I just like I don't really go somewhere and I'm like, oh, look at this pop vinyl. I get it. Yeah, they're usually gifts. I don't really buy things like that for myself.
Well, okay, well that's fair. I mean, maybe I misjudge everyone. Maybe I'm the person who collects things.
Oh, you know what though? Since you're saying collecting, something
Yeah.
that just popped in my head that I think a lot of people do collect that aren't like action figures or nerdy stuff like that.
Pop
It's
vinyls.
no. What?
Okay, never mind.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, I'm sure everyone collects squishmallows, and that's a big thing. You know what squishmallow is?
I'm gonna need a
I'm
refresher
sure,
course.
I know you know what a squishmallow is. You probably just aren't like realizing that it's a squishmallow. It's like those little.
Oh my god! Yes, I know what you're talking about now. I just looked
See?
over at my bed.
Right, I thought you had one. I'm pretty sure you mentioned one before.
I do. Nemo got me. Nemo got
Right.
me.
No, I thought that was like the situation. But no, like I have some like in my living room. I have a bunch, or not a bunch, but I have like a good bit. And the only reason I do is again because they were given to me as gifts, and I don't complain about them because I think they're cute. They're kind of cool. I did get myself one because I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because it was like during the whole phase where everyone was like Squishmallows, and I was with my friend, and then like they got one, and then I got one too. So I was like, "All right, why not?"
That's what I call an unintentional collection.
Yes. No, literally, that is what that is. Yeah, unintentional collection. That's what it is.
Yeah, and that's a new thing that we just invented: unintentional collection.
we're patenting that, patent pending. That's what people say, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a big thing that people collect. You know, it can even be like plushie. Actually, Jet. Speaking of squishmallows, have you seen those like TikToks or like images where someone like walks into a room and their entire wall is covered in squishmallows?
Yes,
have you seen that? And something that I didn't want to bring up yet, but I think we should bring up now. It's when a hobby starts to take over your life and starts to take over your personality, and that's when you're like, whoa, maybe I should step back. You know, because that is an issue that sometimes happens. You know, when the hobby becomes a little bit too much. You know?
Okay, yeah, because at some point a hobby, because a hobby starts off as just being something you enjoy doing.
Yes.
That can turn into more of an addiction. So that's like kind of a danger of a hobby, depending on what the hobby is. Like it could be healthy or unhealthy.
Oh yeah, and yeah, that's what I mean. And there's nothing wrong with having a hobby. Just make sure you
Oh, my hobby is drinking on the weekends, only drink socially. But you're an alcoholic, right? Oh no, I only drink socially on the weekend. So you're an alcoholic, right? It's like, no, it's just a hobby. I think that's kind of how that goes.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
Right.
But a hobby that I do is collecting Lego, Jet. And I'm sure
I
you
knew you were
knew
gonna say
that. Yes. But I collect Lego, and it used to be like just any Lego set that like fancy. Like I had Lego Jago, I had Lego City, Lego Batman, Lego Marvel, Lego Star Wars. And then over time I was like, hang on a second. This is getting ridiculous. So there's too much out. Everything's too much money. I can't keep, walking over to my mom and being like, Mom, I need all of them. I gotta cut that back. So I limited myself to only Lego Star Wars. See, that's when you gotta make the call in a financial situation. When it
financial
comes to
situation, the responsible financial thing to do in that situation is to not have a Lego collection.
You shut the hell up. No, I say you can still do your hobbies. Just make sure that it's reasonable. And yes,
make sure you don't spend like the amount of money it would take for you to like be broke or not be able to afford rent or your daily necessities or whatever. Just don't take it that far. It's like you have extra money. You can spend on a hobby.
Oh yes, maybe like every time you maybe a week, every time after a day of shift, be like, all right, I'm gonna put this $1 aside, my hobby. Yeah, something like that, and then put the rest into savings. That for collecting anyway. Like I'm sure there's hobbies out there that's not as expensive, but collecting Lego Star Wars, some of the Lego sets go over $100 plus. Sitting there.
I've seen them. Yeah, that's one hobby that I've never, or I guess like in general, like I don't understand really collecting things because to me it makes a clutter and it's like you have to find space for it. Or like buy a shelf or whatever. I don't personally get it. Because I still do it. So
it's also one of those things where once you have a full set there, Jet, you feel kind of like it feels rewarding, because you look at your shelf and you're like, look at that. I have every type of Jedi starfighter. This is dope, you know.
I guess if you're like,
it's a nice feeling to have when you have a full set of something, you know. It just
I guess if
nice.
you're like a fan of the whatever it is that you're getting, I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, those I think that's what we just said, Jet, were the main two hobbies. I'm kind of interested, Jet, if you have any different kind, not so well.
Oh, that worked so well, and we don't have this scripted at all, but that worked so well because my next thing on my list was more of a personal hobby.
Oh yeah.
Which again can still be sort of relatable, I guess, because not every hobby isn't original, but like it's more that like is definitely not well known. I think you guys, like you and the rest of our group, might know a little bit. I'm gonna take a sip of my water real quick. I did not have the thing down.
What? That didn't even sound like it had like a sound effect. It doesn't sound like you drink that.
No, that was a sound effect. I went to take a sip of my water bottle, and it's one of those things where you can like close the lid, and the lid was down, so I reached for nothing. That was funny. It's like when you reach for the straw and you miss. It's kind of like that.
If you're interested in what that looks like, look at the YouTube version, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the YouTube.
Look at me being an idiot.
Yeah, look at that guy. Look at that guy. You should zoom in. Zoom into your face. Look at that guy.
No.
Yeah, he's not gonna do that, but you know.
What we were saying.
Yes.
More of a personal hobby that I don't really show that often. Every now and then I will. Is music. I think you guys know that I was pretty into music for a good while. I mean, I don't want to say I was. I still am. I think I like recently I just posted on Twitter that I got a new keyboard, and I'm not sure if you saw that tweet or not.
I did see that, Jen. I think I saw a video of you trying to set it up.
I did not make any video of me trying to set it up.
I swear I heard. I swear it was you and some girl trying to set it up. I swear.
What are you talking about?
Did I see something else? Maybe that wasn't you. Never mind.
What the hell? No, that was not me.
Okay.
No, I just took a picture of it and I posted it on Twitter. That was all it was. Because I have this little corner now. Because like I used to just have my guitar behind me and you could sometimes see it in my face cam. But now like I can even see like I have a little my little stool, I guess is what it's called, my keyboard. That's right there. Mm-hmm. So my back corner now is just a little music area. It's got my guitar. It's got my keyboard, which I've played both in the past. Like when I was in middle school, I got into guitar. High school, I started learning some piano, keyboard. Same thing. Not the same thing, but same concept as playing. So I used to play back then, and I stopped playing piano for a long time. But I just started getting into it again now because I got a keyboard, and I was like, ooh. And I've been like playing most nights to kind of get back into it, and it's going pretty good. Getting back into it. My guitar, I'm still pretty. I play that pretty frequently. So, but no, music was actually like the thing that I was going for, like as a career in life before like I started doing YouTube and stuff. And I mean, not to say that like I still, can't or anything like that, or that YouTube's like become a career or anything like that. But, that was like that was the dream, doing music and stuff.
I did not know that, Jay. See, I knew you had the two. Because I've seen those videos on the Jet Addict YouTube channel, which you should check out, ladies and gentlemen. But I've seen the tunes. I saw you, Jet, playing that guitar, and I was like, oh, look at this guy. This guy is pretty cool. But he plays keyboard as well. Next he's going to come up with the xylophone or something? I don't know.
Motherfucking xylophone. But, I've been thinking about, and I talked about this to Sertrix. That like I thought about like streaming again, but not streaming games, just streaming like me practicing and playing guitar and keyboard. Because I've watched those streams on Twitch before, and those are always really cool. Because it's just like people put in requests and like, oh, do this. But like I wouldn't be doing requests because I'm not at that point where I can play super well or just like look at something and just start playing it. But like I like it literally just be me learning how to play again is basically all it would be, with a break every now and then to play something that I probably do know how to play. Like I've almost learned one full song again back on my keyboard, and it was funny enough, it was like the first song I learned back when I originally learned how to play. So now it's kind of like one of those weird like, oh, back then, now it's here type of thing. So yeah, now I'm getting back into music and having lots of fun with that. Yeah, so that's a thing you guys didn't know about me. But
no, I did. That's
yeah.
Wait. So, you know how to play guitar. You know how to
Yes.
play.
Yeah, keyboard piano. Yeah, I mean, I learned on a piano when I was younger for a little while, but no, I played guitar pretty much most of my life.
Is there anything else? Any other music things I don't know about here?
No, I mean that's kind of what I've been saying. No, like music was like a huge part of my like early days, my upbringing. Not like in terms of like family teaching me or anything like that. I'm self-taught. My dad did buy me my first guitar at like a flea market, and that's what I practiced on originally. He didn't teach me or anything. I was self-taught all the way in both things, in both piano and guitar. So everything that I've learned music-wise has been on my own via either books or YouTube videos.
Well, Jet, you may be surprised to hear this, but
you know how to play the xylophone.
Yeah, and I also had a little ukulele.
You've mentioned that, I think, before.
Yes. Did I know how to play it? No. But my God, did I feel cool whipping that thing out when... It was like one of those like Hawaiian ukulele things,
Hawaiian, just a ukulele.
I don't know if there's an actual term, but it had like Hawaiian stuff on it, all right?
Okay. Hawaiian? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
Like palm trees and like, I don't know.
Okay. So does the design,
kind of like the design,
theme.
Pretty sure it broke. It broke not long after I had it, but yeah.
And still on that music thing, like mini side story. Oh, look at that. It's a Jet mini side story. In high school, I was, I hate to say this, I was that guy who walked around with his guitar. And I hate that. But here's the thing. I wasn't the guy that goes around like the halls playing it in the middle of like classes. I was not that guy. The only reason I carried it around was because so I get to school in the morning and I drop it off in the music room place because I had a class that was, I studied music theory. So I dropped it off in the band room and then went through all my classes throughout the day. At the end of the day, was my music theory class. So that's when I got it out because they have like school guitars, but they're all terrible. I hated those things. But you're allowed to bring your own guitar. So some people did, and I brought mine. And so I carried that around after that class because it wasn't my last class of the day. It was like my second last one. Yeah. So I brought it to like my next class. And in that class, I will say I played it a little bit there because the teacher was chill and there was a lot of like free time and like kind of just passing around with me and like a couple other friends who also knew how to play a little bit. But it's funny. Like, do you know what like the music theory class is?
They just teach you songs? Don't they just? I don't know what they do.
No.
You gotta play the instrument properly.
So music theory is like the actual study of like the composition of music and like actually studying the notes and the keys and the harm, blah, blah, blah. All the like the classic music stuff that you would think about if you thought about like Mozart, like what he would have known. I think I could be wrong. But
okay.
So it's like studying the proper quote unquote way to do it, which is not how I learned. But here's the thing. My grade in that class, despite me already having musical knowledge going into it, was not great. I think maybe had like a C or a D in that class. Yeah, I know, right? Despite already having musical experience going into a music theory class, whereas other people didn't. Yeah. But because like it was more like I said, it was like studying the actual like composition of music, which I was not into, which I get. That's the class. I signed up for it. I just wanted an excuse to play my guitar in a class, honestly. But the thing is, we had written tests where it was actually like stuff to do with like the like notes and stuff like that, and there was like a playing part of it. And people who did good at the test stuff, that were like the paper stuff, they were terrible at the playing stuff, whereas I was backwards. We get pulled to the side to like play a thing that we learned. Everyone would take forever to do it, but they did good on the written part of stuff. And I'm the opposite. I go play it. I'm like, I'm boom, done, first try. And I'm terrible at the written stuff.
You know what I think, Jay? You know what I think? At the end of the day, what are you doing? Are you gonna be out there being like, everyone, look at this? Proceeds to write on a paper. Everyone, look at this.
Writes on a paper. Me showing up at the club with a piece of paper with all the music notes on it. Hey, guys, check out this hot beat I came up with.
Then you just like, bop, 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 bop. Then it goes, beep, boop, bop, boop, bop. You know, that be all those guys, you know. But yeah, when you said you like walked around like school with like I imagined you as like sit backwards on like the chair and be like, everyone gather around, listen to this, and everyone will be like, whoa. And then Jet, you do like the collar thing, you know, when people like lift their collars up, you know, you do that one of those things,
yeah.
And then you like walk away like a badass, and then the girls would be like, "Who is he?" And he's just like, "I have no idea." That's what I imagine.
Who is he was so good. But what kind of jocks did you have in high school? No jocks played like any instruments in my high school. What the fuck?
Look, I just
if you're like athletic and stuff,
I'm
you don't
literally
play
just
music.
picturing one of those old like '80s movies. You know the '80s. You know that's what I imagine. You know.
What the hell? No, completely opposite. I wasn't Mr. Cool Guy by the campfire walking around with his guitar like super chill and zen and all that with sunglasses. Nah, I wasn't that guy. I was more of the has guitar, keeps to himself, doesn't talk to anyone, punk motherfucker, you know?
They walked in. Oh, you have a guitar? And you're like, uh-huh. Can you play it? Hi.
Yeah, I would never play it for anybody if they asked. You know, I would pull it out in like lunch every now and then. If my friends were like, "Oh, pull it out, whip it out," because we always had like outside for lunch, so it wasn't like disturbing anybody really, except for some other people. But I was pretty chill with everybody. So
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's one of my things, my hobbies that I like to do that don't really talk about too much. So yeah, sorry for taking up so much of that time. I never talk about it.
It's okay. It sounds like one time we need to cover like the music on the podcast.
Music. Yeah, maybe after some music streams come out. But yes, Mr. Echo, I would like to hear another hobby that you have that not a lot of people know of. Because you're pretty vocal with your hobby. I think a lot of us know like the type of person you are. So I'd be super like if you pull out something like, oh yeah, you know, I like to go skydiving, you know, it's a cool hobby of mine. I'd be so shook right now.
Let me think for a second.
No, just any hobby, you know, that you just don't speak about a lot, you know? It doesn't have to be anything unique.
You know what? I like to go on drives. I like to just go on a drive. You know, I will randomly message anyone and everyone. I just like randomly I like message them, "Hey, you," and they'll be like, "What's up, Echo? I'm coming over to pick going somewhere around." They'd be like, "Where we going?" And then I'd be like, "I don't know."
On an adventure.
Exactly. I roll up to the house, I pick them up. Next thing you know, we discover this really beautiful beach hidden away from everyone. Nice little picnic spot, you know, like, oh my god, let's go grab fish and chips. Come on, and then we'll come back. Go grab fish and chips, we come back. Very nice. That's what I like to do. I just like to drive and explore. I just explore all around the place. Like, you know, everywhere from beaches to rainforests to a desert. I'm just like, this is dope. I love it, you know? And because I live in Australia, over in the Melbourne, we kind of have like a beautiful selection of different variety of things. Because Melbourne is the most diverse part in Australia, so we have the rainforest, we have the beaches, we have the deserts, we have the mountains. We got a little bit of everything. And that opens the opportunity for me to drive anywhere I like. You know,
I like that because I think a lot of people do that. You know, going on drives, clear your mind, just going out with the boys, having a cool, chill time, listening to music. I like that. I can definitely think of some times where I've just been out on drives with some friends and we're just blasting, you know, party in the USA, just singing along, sounding stupid, just having a good time.
That's a good song.
You know, those are some. Ooh, you know, not to hijack, you know, some time again, but that I have a funny story. That has to do with the car ride. And I wonder if you had anything like this. So there was one night where I was out driving around with the boys. It was just the three of us. We were listening to music, having a good time, you know, listening to the classics, you know, the good shit. And the night was ending and we headed back to this restaurant where we all met up. And then we took one friend's car to go out. But we got back to that restaurant and we were in the parking lot. And then we were still blasting music. I think we were listening to... No, we were listening to Africa by Toto. You know what I'm talking about? You know that song? Yeah.
Yes.
I blast the rains down in
Africa. Yes, I know it.
Yeah. So we were blasting that, and the song was like half over, and that song goes for a good while. It's like 5-6 minutes long, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so we got there. The windows were still down. The sunroof was down, everything. And then there was this group of like other guys over like across the parking lot, and one of them came over to us because we were still just being stupid and singing, and he was like, "Yo, can I join in?" And we're like, "Yeah!" And he literally joined us, and he took out his phone and he recorded like, I guess, like a Snap story or something, and then he just started singing along with us, you guys, in the video, and I guess he said he posted it to his Snap story, I think. I know it wasn't TikTok. But yeah, he did that, and it was so funny because we just met this random ass guy on a night where the boys went out and had a good time being stupid, and then this guy also invited us to some some jazz poetry club he has downtown or something like that. I know, right? It was so weird. And I was like, "Is this you like jazz?" Pretty much. And he gave us his information on that, and we're like, "Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll definitely hit you up." We've never been. We never went. But no, it was just a really cool night after like just going out for a drive with the boys. So anything like that ever happened to you?
I've been in weird situations. Okay, so there's these like snowy mountains, right? When it's winter time over here, we drive up to, right? And I got into a situation where you can't go up the mountain anymore because the road is like covered in snow and ice. So we're just like, okay, we're gonna stop the car, walk. We're gonna walk up to the top, see the view, And I just remember this crazy guy coming up to me. I don't know what I feel like he was on drugs or something. See, your story was happy, Jim. My story was like traumatizing. And I was with like a friend. He comes up to my friend who's not confident. He's like, "Oh, what's going on, mate? You don't want to go up them out there. There's something about you see something dangerous up there, mate. Some creatures. They're barking. They'll see you." And then he ran off. I kid you not, the guy like jogged off. I'm like, okay. And then I turned to my friend, and my friend, it took a while of convincing to be like, "Hey, it's snow. Come on, it's gonna snow." And he did not look at all. He looked like he was gonna like physically throw up. He didn't throw up, thankfully. And I remember once we got to the top, and then once I took him home, he's like, "Echo, this experience was amazing. I'm never coming to the snow with you." And I was like, "Why?" That guy is going to be in my nightmares. I'm like, "He wasn't that bad." And he just like walked off. And I remember like driving, I like beeped the horn by, and I like looked at him. He's just shaking his head. So yeah, we did go on rides again. We just never returned to the snowy mountain. So yeah, my story's like the opposite. Not very happy. Yeah.
The Forbidden Mountain now. That's what it's known as.
The Forbidden Mountain. The mountain where a man will be like, there's creatures. Very scary.
But do you have any other hobbies?
Oh, I do. I have one hobby that I'm like, oh, I've missed doing this. Because I had a little break from doing it recently. And that is editing. I have an editing addiction. Yeah, that's right. Editing is my hobby, Jet. I'm sure you already knew this. I
literally leaned back in my chair after you said that.
Why? Why do you lean back in your chair?
I can't tell if you're being like sarcastic right now.
What do you mean being sarcastic?
That sounds kind of rude, but I can't tell. No, because you were just like, "Oh, I love editing," which I believe. I know you do.
Yeah.
But like, you're like, "I love doing it," and you're like just saying how like you do it. But I'm like, last like a video.
And that doesn't mean I don't like doing it yet.
True. Fair.
I just had a little break. Okay, had
a little break on your little Twitch high. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Twitch is taking I'm noticing.
Yeah, I'm noticing the Echo YouTube channel being more alive now, actually.
Yes. I'm dropping shorts. I've gone back to editing like little shorts. For people who don't know, I've been, I was doing YouTube for a bit, and now I've kind of like gone over to Twitch for all this kind of fun, And that time where I would be editing, I'm using it for, streaming, which is okay. I gotta find that balance again. I do like editing, and I have been editing for a very long time. Ever since I was like, maybe like 11. I want to say 11. Like, I remember I used to open that Windows Movie Maker. I remember in class, I used to, like, people would be like, okay, time to everyone get up in PowerPoint. And I'd be like, Miss, I got something better than a PowerPoint. I have an Echo Force documentary. And everyone in class would be like, oh, he's at it again. And I'm like, here you go. And I walk up all confident, like, put this USB. And then she's like, okay. And then I go sit down. I'm just like, and there's just me on the video talking about something. Add a couple of jokes in there, a couple of sound effects, a couple of, oh no. People like, ha ha ha, funny, And so I've been into video editing for a very long time, and it's something that I still enjoy to do. I know I wouldn't say it's like the most traditional hobby, because I'm sure a lot of people like look at video editing like, oh, that's so much work. Having to edit videos, cut up clips and, like record stuff, that whatnot. But to me, it's not that work. It's something that I enjoy, and that's a key to a hobby. As long as you enjoy it and like doing it, I think that can be a hobby. Actually, that's what this podcast is. This podcast is a hobby. It's just you and me talking,
Oh, that's such a good way to like get to like this ending point, like saying that you're right, because this podcast is basically a hobby, just like how you mentioned with like YouTube and like editing and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, that's funny enough. That was literally the last thing I had for my hobby. Was YouTube. And I guess I could just branch it out to say content creation to kind of cover all grounds, because like, YouTube, streaming, this podcast, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. And, it's cool where like we're now in a day and age where a lot of people can create content as a hobby. Like, with TikTok, everyone does, it's like to a much smaller degree of editing. But it doesn't have to be. There could be some really complex editing TikToks and stuff. But like it's smaller in terms of like, it's not like on YouTube you're not watching a full stream or whatever. But it's cool that like more people are kind of branching out into their creativity, which is like what my whole hobbies stuff is based around, creativity, with the music, with YouTube. And it's like, I think you said it best with the editing the videos thing. Yeah, that, like some people see that could see it as work. I can see it as work sometimes. It depends on what I'm editing. That's why, like, I also think, if you enjoy doing it, it's better. Because, when we make videos, or at least, my, POV, it's like I'm editing these videos of us having a good time, having laughs, putting them into a big compilation, and I get joy out of it because I get to rewatch all the funny moments that we made,
Yeah.
And it's like I'm hanging out with all you guys twice, so it's like. It's a weird thing, creating content as a hobby, but to me, it's very rewarding, and I really like doing it. And just like you said, if you enjoy doing it and it becomes like a job, it's like you're not even doing it as a job, because it's like you enjoy it because you like doing it, and I like doing it. So
exactly, I think it's kind of like, for me, I think it's like entertainment. I think that's what it is for me, and it's kind of like an addiction. It is kind of like a hobby and an addiction at the same time. If someone's enjoying what you make, you're like, oh, this is great. I kind of,
feels so good, right?
I know, right? If people haven't laughing at you, just having a good time, then that kind of incentivizes you to do it again, because if it feels good, and you're working on something, like video editing. I'm sure there's people who can't relate to this listening to right now. When you're video editing something, and a moment doesn't feel right, but then you add like a sound effect, or you cut to something, and then, or you bring up an image or something, and then the sequence works. It works. It just clicks off in your head, and you replay that segment not once, not twice, but 3 times to yourself, and you're like, this is perfect. This works. Like, that's a feeling that I have sometimes when I am editing, or making a little TikTok. I'll crack a code somehow in my head, and I'll be like, this is perfect. Like, everything I was doing before wasn't working, but this is working.
And it's funny when you said like it kind of like being an addiction, because I've never thought of it like that, because like you said earlier, hobbies can turn into an addiction in a sort of way if it starts becoming unhealthy. But it's weird, because like I make content, and that's like my main hobby, my main thing I do. I would love to make it a full-time thing, and the thing is, like, I could not imagine if I just one day stopped making content. If I stopped doing YouTube, I stopped making this podcast, just fell off the internet. I could not imagine that. I think that would literally destroy me because like it is like one of the main things in my life is creating content. I love doing it. I enjoy it. You know, the interactions with people who leave comments on your videos, like you said. You know, those comments just feel so great and they motivate you to make more stuff. You know, I'm not the type of person that wants attention or needs it. I've never been that person throughout my life at all ever.
Yeah.
But it does feel really good and it does really motivate you to keep doing it because, you know, I started YouTube with like the intent of making people laugh, taking a few minutes away from their day and distracting them, giving them a good time, good laughs. And, you know, it's good to know that it works when I get comments that are like, oh, this was funny. Oh, that's my favorite part. Blah, blah, blah. And it's a very nice feeling. And you can almost say that's kind of almost addicting, but, you know, not in a bad way, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a nice rewarding feeling once you do kind of find someone else recognizes the part that you thought was good, and they're like, oh, this is great, you know. And that's a whole thing with entertainment, you know, because at the end of the day, you want to entertain someone, and your entertainment is seeing their reaction, and their entertainment is getting to see what you create, you know. So I think it's kind of like, it's a nice change. It's a nice cycle, Jay. It's a nice cycle. It kind of like recycles itself. You know, the person watches your content. They're like, this is awesome. And then you're like, oh my God, this is great. You make new content. They react to the content. It's like a circle. You know?
That's a good way to put it. I never thought of it like that. I like that. And you know, like anybody who's like just feels like wants to make content, I think everyone should give it a shot. You know, if you just do it for a little bit, and just like, oh, that was kind of fun. You know, maybe it's not for me, but I tried it. You know, it's like any hobby. You know, I think everyone should give it a shot. Have fun with it. Just do whatever you want to do. It's so freeing. It's such a creative outlet, and that's what I really need in life. So that's why YouTube just has worked so well in that field of me hobbies. I guess.
Yeah. See.
Oh yeah. I was like, what's the topic again?
Talk about hobbies. Yeah. Talk about hobbies. Like like how my hobbies. I think more streaming right now because I've kind of done more streaming. But it's like you were saying, you know, I don't see me just dropping off the internet now. Like maybe when I first started, I was like, I'm unsure, but I just don't think I would ever drop off the internet. I will forever be here in some form, you know. Yeah, my form may have been focused on videos at one point, but now it's kind of going over to streaming. I'm still here and I'm still entertaining people, you know. It's kind of just evolved a bit. You know?
Right.
Just like, you know, when you look back at your old videos, Jet, you know, you're like, holy shit, what is this man doing? You know, you're like, what is any of this? You know, you've changed, you've evolved, but you're still entertaining. You're still enjoying. Right. And that happens with that. You can apply this to any hobbies. I'm going to bring it back home, Jay. I'm going to bring it back home, back to just hobbies in general. It can be applied to any hobby. You know, you may start off collecting something or playing a game, you know, or enjoying this one thing, and then all of a sudden this introduces a new thing. You know, maybe you first start off by playing this one video game series, and then you're like, oh, this is good. Oh, this video game series is kind of similar. Then you play that one, and then you start trying something else, and then it turns into like a deeper hobby, you know? Like, sure, you start off with like, oh, I really like I like playing Mario. Mario's great. Next thing you know, you play Mario Kart. Next thing you play Forza Horizon Dawn or something. You know, like you jump all over the place. That's a weird comparison to make, but you know what I'm saying, people.
Yeah, and to kind of, you know, reel this topic to a conclusion. The final thing, you know, I think is kind of surprising that neither of us actually talked about or brought up at all is like hobbies is also a really good way to make friends and meet new people. You know, whether you're doing something like you're joining a book club. Do people do that? I don't know. Is that I hear that's
sounds
something.
Boring.
Do people? It does sound boring, yeah. Or you know, go to the gym with some people. I don't know. Do you know anything that you can do a hobby with other people? You know, that you meet new people, make new friends. Just like how we started YouTube. You know, we met new people and we grew as friends. And it's funny. I met this guy. And it's so weird how like a hobby just turned into something even more. Because now it's like we've done all these crazy things. Like if you really think about it and put it into perspective, it's like, holy shit. We have a podcast out. Like I remember when the podcast first came out, I took a screenshot and sent it to my friend. I was like, oh my God, look at my podcast literally next to my like podcast I really like listening to. And I was like, it's so weird seeing it on Spotify and like seeing them next to each other. It's so crazy. And also thinking about like, you know, you literally came to America because of this hobby, if you think about it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then like,
crazy,
and I met you guys too, and it's weird how really hobbies take us, you know. And it's a thing that I think a lot of people should try out. Not content creation specifically,
just hobbies in general.
Hobbies, hobbies in general. Make some friends.
Experiment with some things. If your friend says, "Hey, why don't you come and check out this thing with me?" Or, "Hey, why don't you play this game with me?" Give it a go. And next thing you know, oh, I kind of like this.
Right.
I can see why they'd like it. Let's go.
Exactly. There's lots of good things hobbies can bring out. You can meet new people. You can learn new things about yourself. So, I think hobbies are just a great thing that we all have that we don't really realize at times. And you should always try to, push yourself to try something new every now and then. Maybe you'll find something you really like, Yeah.
I like that message. This is a wholesome this is a wholesome podcast right here. I was about to say stream.
Yeah, I don't... Oh my god!
I cut myself off though.
Oh, see, that's good. You said a stream because it's a hobby, and you really love that hobby. Look at that!
Yeah.
Another perfect ending.
It's full circle.
I think it's a really good ending point, just to kind of end it on a positive note before we say something stupid and bring it down.
Yes.
So, you want to reel in the episode, or you want me to reel it in?
I think you can reel it in. Reel it in.
Damn it. I was really hoping you'd reel it in.
I mean, I can reel it in if you want me to reel it in.
But now it's going to seem like I'm being lazy if I let you reel it in.
Let's do it together, Jet.
I have to reel it. That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
No, you do half, then I do the other half. Go.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to the Cosmic Wave podcast. I've been Jet. This has been Echo. We got a Twitter. We also do YouTube stuff. We also do Twitch stuff. You can find us for me anyways, you can find me at Jet Addict. You can find Echo over at Echo Force Gaming. Mm-hmm. Echo, you take the second half of this outro.
Yes, you took most of it, Jet. What the hell? But yeah, as Jet just said, this is the Cosmic Wave. As always, stay cosmic, people. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate the support. We breaking numbers over here, aren't we, Jet? With downloads and whatnot, Jet.
No, we were just looking at the stats before. Yeah. No, it's doing good. We were just looking at the stats before we started recording this episode, and everything's up. Everything's looking literally good. So
yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much for the support, everyone. We really appreciate it. We send hugs your way, don't we, Jet? We send all the hugs and
absolutely. Thank you so much for supporting this hobby.
Thank you so much for supporting this hobby.
Oh yeah, and we didn't even mention the Cosmic Wave podcast Twitter.
Yes.
At Cosmic Wave Pod on Twitter. Go follow us there. Go ask us questions. Go do whatever the hell. Be like, this was my favorite episode of the podcast. Yeah.
Well, but I hate this episode. What was you guys jumped all over the place. But that's part of the charm. Just like us. That's part of the charm of the Cosmic Wave. We jump all over the place. Pretty
much. Next time, we'll talk about something that'll make Echo talk for most of the time, because I feel like it took a lot of the runtime this time. I don't know. You got me in the music, and then I started talking about it too much. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to follow, subscribe wherever you're listening to this or watching this on, and we will see you in the next episode.
Stay cosmic.